So moving on here a little bit, post interview. This will probably be a quick one. We like literally have a template for you in here and kind of explain like why you should be doing this. Biggest thing I want to touch on here is very generic to do this. Hey, really appreciate the time, appreciate the opportunity. Um, Enjoyed learning about you and the company. Looking forward to our conversation. I think one thing that you can add that might make you stand out a little bit more is add like a takeaway or two. Like, hey, one of my biggest takeaways was when you mentioned this. Excited to kind of implement that as I continue to go through my sales career or whatever it is, whatever literally what your true biggest takeaway was. Talk about that in your post email. Shows that you're coachable, shows that you were listening, and hopefully you do have some good takeaways from some of these managers and leaders that you're interviewing with.
Your bonus points, if you can pinpoint, treat it like a sales process, right? If you could pinpoint the specific need that they have, like maybe their team dynamics is like people aren't going into the office and like it's like pulling teeth to try to get team get-togethers, right? You could be like, hey, like I was event chair, I was social chair, or I was rush chair at my fraternity or sorority. So I'm really good at rallying the troops, right? So if you have trouble trying to get everyone to build the morale, like I got you, right? So it like just be curious, and every manager will have some component that is missing. Maybe because that person got promoted and that person was like really good at the internal politics, like getting having good relationships with the other AEs or cross, or they have a good relationship with working with the other, like at LinkedIn, for instance. I was really good at collaborating with the San Francisco and Chicago and Toronto office. So I would proactively put together. So they want stories, right? So you could say, oh, maybe you uncovered during the interview process that, hey, I feel like our team kind of is like a lone wolf mentality. Like I would love for us to like be able to squeeze more value out of the greater org. So see what best practices that some of the other managers are doing, right? So you could proactively be like, oh, what I do is like once a month I'll put together a call where we all just share best practices, and then that way there's more knowledge sharing. So that way we're all learning from each other's mistakes. Like they love that stuff, right? So if you could do that, they'll help you stand out from the competition.
Love it, love it. Um, and then on the pre-interview side, I think you guys when we're looking at the interview itself, the biggest thing is going to be preparation. You need to research the company, understand what they do, understand their product, understand the prospects that they're selling to. Like we've already touched on, connecting with your interviewer on LinkedIn, sending a pre-interview email, um, all extremely important. And these aren't like maybes; these are musts, right? Like you have to do these things. I really do think I harp on people that I work with one on one. I really harp on understanding the company and what they do so that you can talk about why you want to work for them, why you want to be in that industry. So when it comes down to nailing it, all comes down to preparation. That 20 to 30 minutes to maybe an hour of time that you put in is going to pay off greatly. And I can promise you 95% of the people you're going up against are not doing that.
Yeah, the prep like this is where you can really stand out. Like I would add just if you like bonus points if you can understand the industry, like what are some of the pain points that that industry is going through, like that would really help you stand out. It because it shows business acumen. So that's something I wish when I was an SDR, like I paid a little bit more attention to. I would focus probably way too much energy on Glassdoor and more of like the HR side. But let's say I'm interviewing for like, let's say like the ed tech industry is struggling because, or like let's say I'm selling to academia, to like Rutgers University, like higher ed, right? If I understand, and you can just use ChatGPT, like, hey, I'm interviewing for a company where I'm selling to higher ed. Like, what are some of the top five biggest pain points that higher ed company organizations are going through? They'll tell you, right? And then you just seem a lot more knowledgeable, and you're able to add value to, and it shows like that you're proactive as well and that you have business acumen. So they'll probably say something like, hey, enrollment has been down. A lot of people are doing more non-traditional, Coursera or all these coding boot camps are taking a lot of market share from traditional higher ed, right? Or it's like, hey, professors, or because of the switch to online, there's the infrastructure, the collaboration tools is something that's focused, right? If you know that and you're selling a collaboration tool, then you're that much further ahead than your competition. So just do research, understand the industry that you're a part of, and you'll stand out from the competition.
Yep. Again, it just comes down to preparation. All right.